All right, we're up. We're live. Give us a minute here for people to filter in. Got a little link here. Ooh, what a day. What a day of SEC football. Link. Still didn't get those upsets we've been looking for. All right, can you hear me? Can you see me? I believe y'all can. Let's run down the SEC power rankings. Week 10. Boom. Here's the list. Arkansas, you want to buy, you did nothing. You're dead last. Vanderbilt looked awful, as always. 15, but I bumped Mississippi State because they looked bad at times against Auburn, but at least they showed some life. South Carolina, dead in the water. One drive, that was a nice drive. Then you're dead in the water. Auburn, number 12. Offense came to life a little bit. Like to see that. Wish we would have seen that about a month ago. Florida, number 11, no change there. I mean, you kind of are who we thought you are. No longer second in the East, probably going to finish about fifth in the East. Kentucky, 10, put up a fight, didn't quit, at least give them that. Same thing about number 9, A&M. Not overly impressed by whooping South Carolina at home, no change. Tennessee, 8, big win on the road, saved the season. Alabama, I docked you a spot, moved you down to 7 because I bumped Ole Miss 6, bumped them up. Big win over Vanderbilt. Missouri on a bye, no change. Texas, big win. Oklahoma, they dropped. They're number 3. They lost to Kansas for anybody that missed it. Hell of a game. LSU, you're on a bye, but I moved you up just because I moved Oklahoma down. And then Georgia remains number 1 on the power rankings. Happy early Halloween for all y'all out there. Cousin Shane's here. Oh, my God. Yeah, and this is just a little preview. We're going to be doing a live show Sunday, Halloween themed. This is not my outfit. This was going to be my outfit, but I thought it looked so bad. I was like, let's debut this on the Saturday night version. Oklahoma number 3. Yeah, I guess you lose a game, you're garbage. There's only about 4 or 5 teams in the country that have lost a game. Oklahoma's still right there. Just barely lost on the road. It's nothing. They had 3 turnovers in the first half and still nearly won the game. Oklahoma's a good team. Oklahoma in front of Mizzou, absolutely. If they met tomorrow on a neutral field, give me Oklahoma. These people, they are crazy. You lose one game, they're done? No. Love that Texas and Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma, 2 of the top 10 in the country. Drink a twisted tea through the... I would if I had a straw here. Dylan, need you to lock down the dogs every week. I knew it. I can't believe these Gators thought they were going to be competitive against Georgia. What a joke that was. Imagine how bad they would have got whooped if Brock Bowers played. No love for Oklahoma. That's crazy. Zach Arnett gone, right? Says Ian. He's getting there. He's close. He's close. Great show. Appreciate you, Benjamin, for stopping by. Hotty toddy. Another big win for Ole Miss. How about them Wildcats? Cousin Shane. Cousin Shane says, I'm already standing by his mailbox waiting for my bourbon. Shane's got so much bourbon. The man just barely even drinks it. He should give it to me, but he's got a pantry full of bourbon here. We did. Dylan says, did you see Kirby's comments? I wish I would have saved that, but anybody that missed it, apparently Dan Mullen, I missed this part of it. Dan Mullen apparently picked Florida to beat Georgia in the post game. If y'all missed it, Kirby said, by God, that guy that couldn't recruit, that's the guy you're talking about? I mean, he was offended that Dan Mullen suggested Florida would beat Georgia. Alex says, Mike's scarier than the Gamecock defense. That's pretty bad. Because the Gamecocks are awful. Awful, awful. How about them dogs, says Jason. Sunbelt Billy can't hang with King Kirby. I never thought he could. Listen to the show. I locked up them dogs. Shane got it right, too. Shane and I both. If you ain't on my bookie now, listening to the cousin professor over here, he's not missed, I don't think, since he's put on his glasses. I don't miss hardly that. I have a great record on my bookie locks of the week. You head on over. Don't forget my bookie. Cousin Shane has the regift the Berman. Why? Why would he have to regift it? Big win by Tennessee. Huge win. How about it? What else? Let's look ahead. I mean, what a week we have. I realized we were kind of hoping, hoping for an upset so we could do emergency pod, do all this. But how about next week's schedule? I mean, my goodness. Let's fire that up. Look at some of these games we got. Mizzou, hottest team in the country, one of them, at Georgia. That's going to be an epic showdown. Missouri, I think, give them a lot better game than Florida. LSU at Alabama. Battle for the West, unless Ole Miss has got something to say about it. Ole Miss hosting Texas A&M, that got a big win. You cannot underrate that game. If that's the undercard, you got one hell of a triple header here in the SEC. Arkansas at Florida, that's huge for both of them. Kentucky, Mississippi State. All right, drop off after that one. But we got some great games next week. Can't wait for those. Cousin Shane says the professor is on fire. 2-0, baby. He is. Double cousin match is easy cash. We went from fading us to listen to all our picks. We're on fire. Georgia looks dynamic without relying on Bowers, says Jacob. Maybe Florida's defense is just horrible. We did see South Carolina go up and down the field on them. But hey, credit to Georgia, no doubt. I'm not trying to take away from them. Danny, minus 102 beers. Congrats, Danny. Big win. Billy stole the playbook from Little Giants. The saddest thing I saw in the entire SEC and from these Florida fans. I know they got a 5-star if y'all don't know, they got a 5-star quarterback committed. His name's DJ Lagway. And I hope he's the next Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, what have you. But during the game, they're sitting there retweeting his highlights saying, oh, he'll be here next year. Ooh, I can't remember the last true freshman to come in and tear up the SEC, especially one that's got to face 11 Power 5 teams next year. Arkansas is already on the track and field season. Jack wants to know, will Georgia ever lose another game ever? Bold prediction. This 4-game stretch, they just aced the first one, right? Florida. Let's look at Georgia's schedule real quick here. The next next 3, because they whooped the hell out of Florida. Missouri, Ole Miss at Tennessee. Georgia loses one of these games. Double cousin. We're on fire. You just got to believe me on this one. Double cousin, lock it down. Cousin Shane will get on board with that. Georgia's losing one of the next 3. Missouri at home, Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee. I don't know which one. Don't hold me to it, but they're losing one of those games. Jason, nobody cared who I was. All time. That was a great one. Tennessee, Kentucky should be called Battle for the Booze. Cousin Shane will agree with that. No doubt. No doubt. Auburn, they did. Credit Auburn. They completed the forward passes this year. How many beers deep are you, Mike? Says Dottie. That's confidential. I was hoping Cousin Shane came over. We would have doubled it. Nima says, Cousin Shane's heart doctor better not find out about these bourbon bets. Ooh. Danny says, I've been trying to tell you all season, Vols going to beat Georgia. Game's in Neyland. We'll see. Shane says, I got 3 alerts from my heart monitor during the game. Ooh. Dylan says, after this week, if Georgia loses, do you think a 1-win SEC, I think he's saying 1 loss, does a 1-loss SEC team make the playoff? Absolutely. If you don't have the SEC champ, it's not legitimate. Hell, they'd put an asterisk next to that thing. I truly do believe. Jimbo, we need to execute. Ooh. Man, what a game. What a day. I'm still thinking about that big Tennessee. I didn't think Tennessee would do it. How about that, man? I did not think Tennessee would go up. This is a tougher team than I give them credit for. Joe Milton's starting to come together, strong on both lines of script. They completely shut down Ray Davis. The only thing that kept Kentucky in that game was Devin Leary. And that guy's been so off this year. Anyone getting fired this week, says Cousin Shane. This weekend, I mean, I think we're trending towards Zach Arnett being fired. He's not getting fired this weekend, but I think let's watch the Egg Bowl. Let's see how bad. If that one's in Starkville, if they get creamed by Ole Miss, I think they're going to fire Zach Arnett. Yeah, Dylan Sampson, he was awesome. Who's the best team in the country today? Asked Stacy. I honestly don't follow the teams other than SEC. So, I mean, I guess I would have to say Georgia, but I don't think that's true. I think they're just the best in the SEC. Give us your SEC conference championship predict. Georgia, of course, out of the East, and probably Alabama. I think I'm just going to pick Alabama every week until they lose, because when I pick them to lose, they win. So, little reverse psychology there. I'll go Alabama. If LSU wins next week, I'll switch it to that. UGA Chris says, but without Bowers, we were supposed to lose because nobody else is any good. Well, UGA Chris is not watching the show because we locked down them Georgia Bulldogs over them Florida Gators. That was easy money right there. Shane Beamer having a rough October, but is Mark Stoops' October worse? Ooh, boy, I think so. Let's look at Kentucky. So they just lost. God, if Stoops loses to Zach Arnett, and then he's going to get his ass kicked by Alabama if that's the case. At South Carolina, at Louisville. I have heard, and I've said this before, I don't know how much I'm allowed to share here, but I think Mark Stoops' time in Kentucky is nearing an end. So just keep that on the back burner, and if he keeps losing these games, that's going to expedite all that. I really do think. So, yeah. Well, now let's look at Shane Beamer, though. I mean, not much better. Whew. October, he went 0 for October. We should call Beamer 0 for October here. They'll heat up in November, though. Jacksonville State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. Rough. Rougher than this damn mask I got on. Biggest matchup that Mizzou must win to beat Georgia next weekend. That's a great question. Great question. I think Mizzou secondary, which has got loads of potential, and they're starting to heat up, but they have not been great. They've not lived up to the reputation this year. So we're getting pieces back. I think that's the matchup to watch. If Missouri's secondary can match up with Georgia's weapon. We just saw what Ladd McConkey did. He's getting back to full health. Of course, Dominic Lovett, St. Jack, they got a lot of weapons there at Georgia. I think Missouri's got to win that matchup. If they do, I think they can win the game, because I think as good as Georgia is on defense, I think Mizzou can score on them. Not at will, but I think they can put up 20 to 24, something like that. You're probably not going to win I don't know. I got confidence in Mizzou's offense. Let's just say that. MIZ, Colorado and Dion, they're about to drop another one. No one's talking Dion anymore. What happened? That was a fun 2 weeks, wasn't it? We've got to talk. Hey, Jimbo won. Jimbo's on a heater. They're going 9-3. Didn't you catch the broadcast? That's what they said over and over and over. Even though they're about to go 7, he'll probably come back at 7-5 for some reason. That's a 2-win improvement from last year. That's what they'll be selling all off season. Jimbo, I'm over Jimbo. Shane says, UJ next 4, pick one that could potentially derail the... I'm not picking one, Shane. Don't you put me on that spot. But all right, you put me on the spot. Let's do it. Georgia, which one is it? Tennessee. Of course. Come on. I did that for you, Shane. I mean, hell, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is looking red hot. I disrespect Ole Miss, but Whew. How about this? Missouri at Georgia, not getting game day or SEC Nation is rougher than your mass. Yeah, where's the love? No one respects Mizzou. I don't get it. Did Jackson Dart, did he score on the ground? Yes. Boom. Jackson Dart, minus 20 rushing yards. He still got it in the end zone. Prize Picks. Again, you ain't listening to the Prize Picks. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, where are all these Florida fans? Ethan wants to know where the great Gator fans at. They were pretty loud last week. Cock over, says Roger. What does Kentucky even hope to get as a coach? The JMU guy? Asked Aiden. I don't know. I mean, Kentucky, I think, is a really good job. They'll pay you top 15 in the country. There's resources. It's just a struggle there because where they allocate a lot of the NIL money is in basketball. And that's exactly what Stoops went on that damn show and said. Do I think Mississippi State gets a bowl? Let's look at their schedule real quick. I was stupid enough to pick them to win, so I don't know why you're asking me anything. But what do we got? 4 wins here. We need 2 more. Southern Miss, there's your 5. Do they win another one? Kentucky at A&M, Ole Miss. I say no. I do not think Mississippi, and that could be the nail in Zach Arnett's coffin, because some people don't realize there's Georgia and Alabama. They have the longest bowl streaks, and then Mississippi State's third in the entire SEC. That's true. I got you, Chris. A lot of dummies out there. That's why you come here. You come here for hard-hitting analysis from serious journalists, not these damn clowns and jokers out here. All right, Jenna says, dogs ain't losing. They finally woke up and ready to roll. See, this is the thing. When you doubt them, this is exactly what I said on our last show. When they got to circle the wagons, when Brock Bowers is out, when that's a storyline, when Florida's feeling themselves, they got confident going in. This is going to be a damn slaughter. Is anybody, aside from diehard Mizzou fans, going to be saying Missouri's going to win this game? I think no one will. Same thing with Ole Miss. I think if Tennessee keeps winning, that's a big if because they got Mizzou here. But if they keep winning and they get into this Georgia game, I feel the similar vibes for Georgia. They'll rally. They'll say to hell. This is our toughest. This is our playoff. Kirby will have them fired up. They'll beat the hell out of Tennessee probably in Neyland Stadium. But so watch the Mizzou and Ole Miss games because they're not going to have that motivation. I just think it'll be a different story. And we said it on the show too. Watch Ole Miss. If they keep winning, their game in Athens could literally be a playoff game for them. It could get them into the college football playoff if they're the one team that knocks off the Georgia Bulldogs. So it may be Ole Miss that you really need to watch for. That's probably the one. They're getting healthy at the right time too. What are the odds this Florida team's let's go of the rope, says Nima? I think excellent chances. I mean, they're smoke and mirrors. Sorry, this is not updated. Just lost to Georgia. I mean, who have they beaten? They barely beat South Carolina. Carolina's awful. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat the hell out of Tennessee. That's their best win, no doubt. Arkansas, they should beat. That'll get you to bowl eligibility, but they could win some of these last 3 at LSU, at Missouri, Florida State at home, but right now, I wouldn't pick them to win a single one of those games based on what we've seen. Honestly. Michael Kelly, if you think Mizzou or Ole Miss is coming into Athens and getting a W, you need to check into Arkham State Hospital. Well, didn't shitty 4-win South Carolina win in Athens? Didn't South Carolina have a lead there at half? I mean, Georgia is not invincible. This is of the last, including this team, the last 3 Georgia teams. This is by far the worst. I don't even think that's debatable. Cousin Shane, better 2-win team, Arkansas or South Carolina? Oh my God. Ooh, neither. Pass. Tie. It'll be a 0-0 tie. These offensive lines are awful. Mizzou beat Kentucky worse than Tennessee. Yeah. I wish that counted for something, though. I mean, Florida beat Kentucky, or Florida lost to Kentucky, and Florida beat Tennessee. So by that logic, Kentucky beats Tennessee, right? Not so fast. That's not the way that the game plays. Roger, I'd probably pick Mizzou on the spread at least. Yeah, I give you that. But no one's going to be picking them to win outright, I don't think. Can't see Mizzou winning in Athens. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you're going to be like a 20-point favorite. Let's not mix it. This is not a toss-up by any means. We just can't. Everybody hates people keeping it real unless they're talking about other teams. Florida is overrated. Yep, they went from second in the East to they're falling like a stone. Carson Beck looked good tonight, no doubt. Biggest game of his career to date. Looking good. Looking playoff ready. Billy Napier is to Florida what Derek Dooley was to Tennessee. I wouldn't go that. What big win did Derek Dooley have? Did Dooley ever have a good win? He beat NC State. That's about it. We got some Roll Tide. They're on a bye. They're feeling good. Would KU beat Georgia? Where's that game played? I'm kidding. No, Georgia would beat the hell out of them probably. Yes, we do need Cousin Shane. Where is Cousin Shane? I concur. Where is the professor? Mizzou is better than Tennessee at a neutral field, but it's a crazy game. I don't know what that means, but because we're not seeing these two play. Georgia should win by multiple scores next week. Should. Don't always mean it will, though. Florida, Liquid Flames fan. I hope Gators fans don't overreact to the loss. We're going to be just fine. We'll see. We shall see. Sammy, Georgia always plays their best against ranked teams at home. Do they? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We shall see. Derek Dooley at least wore orange pants. Beck will be in New York for the Heisman. No chance in hell. That ain't happening. No chance. How shocked were you by that OU? Pretty shocked. Pretty shocked. They last week too against Central Florida, they were kind of sleepwalking, and it caught up to them. But they're still probably going to go to the Big 12 championship if they can beat Texas. They'll probably go to the playoff. Joe Milton played like a top 5 quarterback in the SEC, says S. Payne. Incorrect. I mean, he was fine. He is playing better and better, but it's evident. I don't know how anybody is not aware of this, but Josh Heupel is not confident in Joe Milton in many situations. And maybe it's not all on Joe Milton. Maybe it's the receivers and the offensive line. I mean, he's burning clock in 2-minute situations. They hardly ever throw the ball down the field. It's just, I can't believe what we're seeing, because it's clear that the coach, the play caller, does not have confidence in something, and they got confidence to run the ball, and they got a great defense, and that's what's carrying them. That's true. I will have red circles on my forehead. Thank you for pointing that out. Cousin Shane has already passed out from bourbon poisoning. Oh my God, there's people farting over there. We're on a live stream. Don't be doing that. Cousin Shane, I figured out why there have been so many cops driving by the house now. Chris says, gig 'em. Aggie's going to beat the hell out of Ole Miss. That would be something. I wouldn't put it past them. A&M's got more talent. They should win, but they have god-awful coaching. Thank you, Carl. Thank you for taking me seriously. I don't know why anyone would ever take me seriously at any point. What else? What else we got going on? Any surprises? Let's go. Let's look at these one more time here. I'm running out of topics here. Not a lot of great action. Again, things went. Auburn was a big favorite. They were favored. They won. A&M big favorite. They won. Tennessee favored. They won. All the favorites won this weekend. So not a ton of action here. Tim's chiming back in. Ole Miss gonna beat the hell out of A&M. I'm telling you guys, that's gonna be a hell of a game as the undercard. I love it for all these great games. Shane, $2. Never wear that damn. I got you one. Sunday night, I got you a mask here, buddy. Same one. We may be wearing them. I may have to give you $2 back. Peyton Thorne, how about it? Anyone that missed it? Hugh Freeze in the postgame said, they got away obviously from rotating the quarterbacks, and Peyton Thorne responded. So imagine that you play one quarterback, you give confidence in them, and they respond. Peyton Thorne, he lit Mississippi State up in the first half, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, shots fired. Jackson says Jacksonville State. Ooh, related? Jacksonville State will beat South Carolina in Columbia next weekend. Thoughts on that? Ooh. I don't know about that, but God, we may legitimately be calling for Beamer's job if they lose to Jacksonville State. I don't care how many injuries you got. That would be inexcusable. I mean, isn't this supposed to be fun? What is that? Is it? Hopefully, that's not a bad thing, right? We got something coming for you tomorrow. All right, we're closing 30 minutes. Anything else before we lock down here? Don't forget Sunday night. I never know what time. What have we been doing? Around 7-ish, 7:30, 6:30. We'll let you know when we have a definitive time. But we got Halloween decorations going up now. They're going to be a lot better than this one. But yeah, I'm ready to break these games down. Shane's going to be on cloud 9. He's going to be over here with so much bourbon. It's going to be a good time, no doubt. We may have to make it a bourbon show. Emergency press conference next week if Beamer loses. Absolutely. If Beamer goes down, we'll fire it up. Who's playing Georgia and Atlanta? Alabama, probably. It's looking like Alabama. Zach Arnett should wear the mask. He's dead man walking. All right, I think that's all I got. I'm kind of running out of time. It was just a slow day here in the SEC, but tune in. We'll go live Sunday night, probably around 7. Hope I like that time. Unless we have to change it due to Shane's work. So we do appreciate you again. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, live show. Cousin Shane, Bourbon Bet, breaking down all these games, opening lines, a lot to discuss for a Halloween show. So tune in Sunday night. Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. Shane says 7 is good. 7 it is. Bentonita, Georgia. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye. Nope.